On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Monroe Museum and its officers, and I'm going to say the City Council, because they've been so good to us, the Mayor and Council, we welcome you here to see the latest exhibit. There have been a lot of people working, and I've heard some stories about last night things weren't on the wall yet and maybe they hadn't arrived or something like that. But very quickly I'd like to tell you a little bit about what we are doing, and then Steve's going to tell you some more about some of the people that have worked so hard on this project. But back about 3 years ago, when we first started talking about a museum, Judy Brown Shuford called me and said that there was a group wanting to put together a museum, and I later learned that there had been several groups trying to put a museum together for Monroe in previous years. But I was on a road trip with my buddy A.C. Marshall, and I said to him as I put my phone away, would you like to help work on a museum for the Girls Corps? And that's what the conversation was about, because Judy had explained that a number of her friends had great artifacts from the Corps, and that was a history that needed to be preserved for somebody. And so AC, being a fan of Wayne Shields, and said, yeah, I'll do it with you. He said, there's one other person I'd like to recognize though, and it was Ernest Camp. And he explained his political connections and how his relationship to President Roosevelt, both in Washington and when he was in Warm Springs. I learned tonight from Randy that they were real good friends, and it's one of the reasons why Monroe was blessed with a number of WPA projects as the times were then. So AC and I are riding along the coast going from one of his stores to another, and I said, what do you think we do? He said, well, let's call Niall Briscoe, because of the articles in the paper. Niall had been pushing the idea that we needed some sort of museum, and we did that. And then we started going to museums, and we realized quickly that we had to be more diversified than just the Girls Corps. And so this is a great example, what you've seen that this gallery committee has done, especially for this night. But we did get it going, and as one of the old politicians' wife said, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a whole community to build a museum, and this community has been blessed with one, from the city government support, from all the volunteers, and Steve Brown is a blessing that we have too. We have him in this community. So we welcome you here. We have one of our first big sponsors here tonight. Liberty Bank has made a commitment to us, a financial commitment, and we hope that some of you might wish to make a commitment of some kind too. And it takes a lot of money to buy the things and get these graphics and things like this done. So we shall appreciate anything that you might do. Stay tuned through the Walton Tribune and other news media for future exhibits. The program committee has some great ideas for about 2 years out. I think for as much as 2 years out. And as I heard today, nobody's willing to take this down after the work they've been. It's gonna be here a while. But bring your friends to see it and advertise it for us. We're glad to have you looking on our Facebook site and the museum site. And I get more comments about that, I think, than anything else. Again, it takes a lot of work, and AC and I neither had any idea how to do this. But Steve Brown was there, and Steve has done a wonderful job. Where is Steve? Oh, all right. You want the mic in there, but Steve's going to recognize the many workers that we've had involved in this. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Bobby. As Bobby said, we started doing this and had not any idea what we were doing. We found out in a hurry what we didn't know, and have moved forward with them. I don't want to keep you a long time, but there are folks whose names need to be called, who nothing you see here would be here if it were not for them. If you have a program, if you look at the gallery committee, those folks have spent, and I'm not exaggerating, dozens of hours. Their time, their money, and everything else. Judy Adams, Lisa Anderson, Conrad Barnes, Carol Bradley, Susan and Steve Brown, Randy Camp, Harriet Griffin, Diane Harden, Rick Holder, Suzanne Lassiter, Jane and T. McFerrin, Robbie Mitchell, Kim Mulkey, Lorraine Payne, Susan Pelham, Terry Queen, Andy Reynolds, Joe Reynolds, Sandy Stacy, and Dale and Mike Strickland. And I don't want to single any of those out because they all put in some time, some of them more than others, but I do want to single out Kim Mulkey Smith. And Kim has worked, I can't tell you the number of hours that she's spent at home on the computer and up here, and I don't think she sleeps at all. I'd get emails at 11 and 12 o'clock at night. Tomorrow we need to do so and so and so and so. But her father fell this morning, and she's at the hospital with him tonight. Don't think it's serious, but you know, it's a few things they were concerned about, so they went ahead and took him to the hospital, and she couldn't be here. I hate that, but I did want to tell you that she was the brains behind this, and these other folks were brains and brawn, and we're just so happy to have them. The other thing I'd like for you to note are our businesses that helped us out in your program. Those folks, I tell you, they gave us price breaks, they gave us stuff free, they showed up when they didn't have time to show up, and you know, just did things. Daryl Latha put this whole wall up right here and had not an idea what he was doing when he started. So, Mike Cash has picked up and moved everything we've asked him to move for, and we never paid him a penny, and he's never complained. But he may start soon, but but just take a look at those businesses, and if you have the opportunity to support them, please do that. We would appreciate it. And we certainly do appreciate you being here. I hope you'll come back when it's not as crowded and you've got time to look at everything. But we have a table out here, and when you go out the door, Alicia and Michelle out there, they'd be happy to take you a check. And if you give them one, that'll get you in here for 2017, and we'd love to have you as a supporter. Thank you for being here.
Anybody else for the good of the order? Well, thank you for being here. We'll be open again tomorrow night when the Downtown Development Authority has the lighting of the trees. And our hours tomorrow night will be from 5 to 8. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, from 5 to 8. Thank you for being here.
Get him enrolled, and well, actually, after
Dale. I don't remember.
Every one of them was in the box. When they come get out me, get in the box. No, I bought them when I was